A waterfall of LED lights illuminated the stage at Universal Studios Hollywood, and the holographic background of the stage pulsed in time with the excitement of the audience. Adam David, who is 29 years old, was in the spotlight with his pulse beating as the pressure of the instant save round of The Voice Season 27 was crushing down on him. He was a member of Team Bubbly, and after a poor performance in the playoffs, he was struggling to maintain his position in the tournament. Its song, Lose Control by Teddy Swims, was a high-stakes decision, since it was a ballad that was emotionally deep and soulful, and it required vocal technique and sensitivity. Adam maintained his composure while drones circled overhead, live-streaming every aspect to the NBC app and providing it to an audience all over the world. This mattered a great deal. Adam, who was born and raised in Atlanta, was introduced to music at a young age. The sound of his mother's voice shone like a beacon as she led a gospel choir, while his father, who was a session guitarist, spread soul riffs throughout their home. This deep, dynamic baritone voice of Adam's emerged early on, and by the time he was 17 years old, he had achieved local popularity as a wedding singer. The decade of the 2020s, however, was marked by a series of setbacks. Gigs disappeared after the epidemic, and by the year 2025, he was working as a Lyft driver, singing songs to customers while inflation continued to strangle his hopes. He has a chance to redeem himself through The Voice. It was Michael Bubbley's pitch that won him over during his blind audition, which was a passionate rendition of Gladys Knight's song, If I Were Your Woman. Michael Bubley said, "You've got a voice that cuts deep, man." However, the lives were not forgiving in any way. Adam's performance in the playoffs of Let's Stay Together was unsuccessful due to pitch troubles, which resulted in his finishing in the bottom four. Now, in the instant save, he competed against a country musician, a jazz performer, and a TikTok kid who went viral, all of whom were competing for the vote of the American people. His performance was what was required to get the Voice app going and to start a buzz on social media. Adam followed Bubley's pre-show advice, which was to sing like you're telling your story, not just a song. Adam was dressed in a sleek navy suit that he borrowed from his brother, and he wore his distinctive silver stud earring. The voice of Carson Daly was able to be heard above the din. Adam David, hailing from the Bublé team. On the augmented reality platform of The Voice, the crowd exploded in cheers, waving LED wristbands, and their cheers were multiplied by virtual fans. With a firm tone, Adam gripped the microphone tightly. This is for anyone who has ever felt trapped, fighting to break through. He stated with a warm drawl that was reminiscent of Atlanta. A mixture of optimism and expectation could be seen on the faces of the coaches, Michael Bublé, Adam Levine, John Legend, and Kelsey Ballerini, as they watched carefully over the performance. There was a haunting piano theme that poured out as the opening chords of Lose Control were played. Each note in Adam's voice was loaded with need, and his voice began to enter softly, almost delicate. Recently, whatever it is that's got a hold on me. In his mind, he closed his eyes and pictured himself working late-night shifts for Lyft, his mother's mounting medical expenditures, and his aspiration of pursuing a career in music. His voice became more confident as the verse progressed, and he was able to navigate the complicated passages of the song with pinpoint accuracy. The crowd was swaying, and many were posting on their phones, saying things like, "Adam is killing it." And that voice though. After the chorus became popular, which stated, "I lose control when you're not next to me," Adam let loose. Every syllable he spoke was a demonstration of his struggle, and his voice was high, raw, and hurting. "Sing for us, son," he thought of his mother as she prayed over FaceTime. "Let us hear your voice." It was then that he recalled his father, who had sold his classic Stratocaster in order to finance Adam's trip to Los Angeles. Adam's ad-libs weaved through the song like a preacher's cry as the band grew in size, with drums, violins, and a gospel choir. He matched their fervor. As the audience stood up, their yells shook the very ceilings of the building. He was forged in the fire of the bridge. I am completely engulfed in you, and I am falling apart. His voice was a flood of pain and power as he knelt down on one knee with the microphone tilted. An ultimate attempt, a soaring falsetto, landed without a hitch, and the room erupted in a commotion. With 3 million mentions, the hashtag #SaveAdamDavid became a popular topic on social media. Adam was standing there with his chest heaving and tears streaming down his cheeks as the final note faded away. He had invested every ounce of his being into those 3 minutes. Carson rushed over briskly. The United States of America, that was Adam David. Vote right away. Coaches jumped to their feet. After a little pause, Kelsey Ballerini talked while fanning herself. Adam, you just provided me with a cold. It was a genuine act of heart. This was John Legend's nod. The technical, heartfelt, and indelible quality of your voice makes it a gift. Smiling, Adam Levine smiled. Dude, you just set a new standard for me. That was a performance worthy of the grand final. His coach, Bublé, radiated with joy. Man, you have provided your account. I am so incredibly proud. Not only did the adulation seem unreal, but the voting window of 5 minutes was drawing near. While Adam was backstage, his phone was vibrating with texts from his mother, his sister, and fans who were saying things like, "You moved me to tears." Although there were 5 million views of clips of his performance, doubt continued to chew at him. The story of the country rocker struck a chord with the teen's devoted fans, who was rabid. Did he manage to sway a sufficient number of votes? Upon Carson's reading of the data, the atmosphere became dense. It is America that has rescued Adam David. The crowd erupted in applause as Bublé pumped his fists. Confetti began to fall. While Adam was being held by his coach, he fell to his knees and began to cry. "I am so proud of you, kid." Adam referred to that performance as a rebirth at a later time. According to him, "I was singing in order to save my dream. I had to find a way to let go of every fear." Although the instant save helped propel him to the top 8, the stakes continued to increase throughout season 27 with fan-driven challenges, artificial intelligence, vocal analytics, and global live streams. Adam took a step toward his edge, which was sincerity. After posting unedited covers on Instagram, he reached a total of 700,000 followers. However, he is singularly focused on the conclusion, and he is hinting at a classic soul song that will be released after this. When Adam declares, "Lose control was my breakthrough," his eyes sparkle with excitement. "I'm no longer just a driver for Lyft," she said. "I am an artist, and I intend to remain in this field." The performance that Adam David gave in the final moments of the game was more than just a save. It was a declaration. His voice reverberated throughout the United States.